Thanks.
All right, all set.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Dan Laird. I am an academic project manager with Campus Technology Services, and I am the administrator for Panopto on campus. And I am going to copy into the chat for anybody that joins. This is going to be the agenda for my presentation today. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is our Panopto webpage, and I'll also put that into the chat as well. And that is oswego.edu/cts/Panopto. I will share my screen, show you that. So this is our Panopto lecture capture page. And just to quickly go over what Panopto is our lecture recording service on campus. It is installed on nearly all the campus classroom computers. So that allows faculty to record their sessions in class. There's quite a few rooms that have cameras and microphones outfitted. Some of the larger lecture halls use the lapel mic, but there's quite a few. I say probably the majority now of the classrooms on campus are able to record with Panopto. So there'll be a Panopto icon on the desktop of each of these computers that you can click on to turn it on. And you can record your lectures. It gets posted into Brightspace so that your students can review them. And you can also do review sessions or supplemental resources for your courses. You can install Panopto on your own computer. There is a Mac and Windows client, and you can record your own supplemental videos for your courses if you wish. And you can download the app, record whatever you like, and that will be uploaded to your course as well. So it's a nice tool for students that, you know, especially like student athletes or people that have to miss a class or have something going on and can't make it to review. It's also good for study guides and when it's time to review for tests and quizzes. So I think that's about the gist of what it is, and that's the website. On here, we have some information about it, and we also have a help page. So if you click on this help resources, of course it's a template. It's unavailable because I'm giving a presentation. So that's great. Anyway, so when that is working, there's lots of articles in there on how to do everything from install it to record to copy to a different course. So that website is oswego.edu/cts/panopto-help-resources, and the link is right on the front page of the Panopto page. So let me dive in. The first thing and the most important thing with setting up Panopto is that you set up your account. And the most common method for doing this is to set up Panopto in your Brightspace course. So I am going to, I hope the audio plays, and if not, this YouTube video that's on the front page is what I'm going to play. I don't have a course that doesn't have Panopto in it to show you, so I have to show you this video. This goes over how to set up Panopto in your Brightspace course. And this is important because this creates your account in Panopto. So if you don't do this step and you download Panopto and try to use it, or if you go into a classroom before doing this step, it won't work because you don't have an account. This creates your account in your course, and it also gives the students in that course access to the videos you post. So it does a couple things. It makes the folder for the course, it creates your account and gives you access to be a creator and create videos and publish them. And it also gives viewing access to everybody in the course roster. So Let me try to get this working. So that is the video on how to set up Panopto. There's also a knowledge base article that is right underneath it. So if you would rather have a text-based instructions for how. Oh, something's playing. All right, sorry about that. So as I was saying, the knowledge base article underneath the video, you click on this. Wow, why am I not able to get it to anything? I don't know if there's something going on in the web server or if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. YouTube works. All right. Well, the link to the knowledge base article is underneath this video. So if you need that, it's available. So after you get Panopto set up in your course, and say you want to download the app into your course, let me show you. I'm going to change. Let's see if I have to change. I don't think I do. There we go. Okay. So this is my practice course, and this is the Panopto link that's created. So I'm clicking on this. Hopefully this works. I haven't had luck with the other links I've clicked. There we go. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. You're not going to have anything in here because you just started. So if you click this create button, this allows you to download the recorder. So if you click on this to record in the application and you don't have Panopto installed, you can click this download Panopto button. And this knows I have Windows, so it's already asking for that. But you can also, there's the 2 Windows installers and then there's one for the Mac. So those are available. You can click on that and download it to your computer. And then once you have the client installed, you can come in here. Like say you're about to go into a classroom and start your course and start your class for the day. You can log into Brightspace, go to your Panopto folder, and then click Create. And then through here, you can open Panopto. This way, you don't have to put in any of your credentials. Like it automatically passes through Brightspace to Panopto. If you open the link on its own in the desktop, you have to just type in your credentials, your Laird ID and password. So this just saves you from doing that. It's a couple extra clicks to get to here versus the other clicks from going into Panopto. But if you're already in Brightspace, every time you're in your classroom anyway, then you might as well go this way. So there's just a couple different options for you to open Panopto in your classroom. So okay. Next thing I'm going to go over is starting a recording. So I'm going to open Panopto on my computer and then switch to that. Just a second. Okay, let me change my share to my Panopto screen. There we go. There we are. Okay. So this is the Panopto recorder client. This is what will show up on your personal computer or on the classroom computer. So in here, there'll be the folder for the course that you are in. If you opened it through Brightspace, this course will already be selected, which is another nice thing about going through Brightspace to open this. It grabs the folder name of the course that you are in. So that's one less step you have to do in here. If you open Panopto on your own, then you'd have to click on this pull down, and it will give you a list of uh, all the folders and of the courses that you have access to. So if you have multiple courses that you have Panopto set up on, you need to click the folder for the one that you want this recording to go to. So, and then you can either leave it as the timestamp, that's there by default. A lot of instructors will also put in like the chapter of the book that they're in or what they'll be talking about during this class session. So you can feel free to change that. Under video, normally this will already be selected. Zoom is using my camera right now, so I'm not going to click on this because I don't want it to throw up an error because you can't have two applications using the camera at once, so it will not like that. So this will be the video that is, if you care to have video of you talking, then this will be what this is for. And then the audio, you'll need to select the microphone that you're using. So, and then quality, we normally just leave this alone along with the resolution settings. That's something you can mess with if you want, but just keep in mind if you start bumping up the settings, your videos will take up more space and they will take longer to upload. And if you are someone that allows your students to download the videos onto mobile devices or whatever to be able to study, that will take longer as well. So we usually recommend you just keep them as they are. It's a good size to quality ratio. So, and then under secondary sources, by default, this will capture PowerPoints and slides. So what this does, if you use PowerPoint, it will screen scrape the PowerPoint and allow students to search in the video after it's done the text that's in your slides. So it allows you to do that. And also, students can search your spoken word. So Panopto also does a transcript of your audio, and that's also searchable as well. So that's kind of a neat option. If you have more than one screen that you want captured, you can click this capture second screen. I do have a second screen, but I'm not going to mess around with that. So, and if you're in a classroom that has a document camera, we recommend if you're somebody that works on the board, a lot of math classes will do this. We highly recommend that you use the document camera and do your write out what you want to share with your students underneath the document camera. Reason being, the cameras in the classroom aren't super high quality to be able to, for students to be able to see what you're doing on a whiteboard. So it is much better if you add the document camera to this, and that will be available in here. I think a lot of those are, I don't know what they use in the classrooms now. Sometimes they're Wolf Vision, sometimes they're Samsungs, but there will be something that will tell you there's a document camera available and you can select that and that will capture it in the video. So students will be able to see what you put underneath the doc cam. So once you have all this stuff set up, let me see if I can do this. Okay, I can't go. So at a minimum, you need audio because without audio, there's not really, you can't have a lecture. So like I said before, video of you speaking is optional. That's not something that's needed, but if you want, you can certainly include that. It does capture the screen. So anything that you have on the screen, it will record. So if you're going to do your slides, if you're going to show websites, if you're going to have a piece of software open, if you're going to do YouTube videos, anything that you do on the screen, it's going to record. So um, you can see here screen capture in progress because that's going to grab your main screen. This is a preview, so you can click that and you'll see this is what it's going to record. So, but we don't need that on because I know it's going to record. So once you have all your settings where they should be, you can see you've got levels here. So you know your mic's working. You can click record. It takes a second or two for the devices to start. And then you're recording. So you can minimize your Panopto window. You can go talk about what you wanted to do for the session for the day. And then also another option while you're recording, you can pause it. So if you like have, group work that you don't really need recorded in order for students to review, you can hit the pause button and that will allow you to pause the recording. And it's what they call a non-destructive pause. So let's say you hit pause and forgot to unpause it when you wanted to, and you come back to it and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't get part of the session today that I wanted. You can go back into the editor that is available online, and it's there. It's just blacked out. So I'll show you kind of how that works. So I'm going to pause this right here. I'm just going to give it like 10 seconds. You can see right here, it says streams are still being captured, but they're automatically cut from the recording. So that's kind of the gist of it. So, and then I will click resume, and I'm happy with that. So I click stop, and then it's going to say the recording is complete. In here, you can change the name one last time if you want to. You can put a description if you want. If you are, doing multiple takes, like you want to make sure that you get, like if you wanted to, some of us are perfectionists and want it to be really nice recording, and sometimes we'll do it over and over again. So there's this delete and record again in case you want to restart your video. But if you're happy with everything, you can click done, and this is going to happen real quick. So when I click done, it's going to go to the download, and you can see the upload progress. This is going to go by quick because it's not very long. So you can see the upload progress. That's done. Went by super quick. So this is being uploaded to my course folder. You can see listed underneath the folder. And as it's on the server, right now it's processing. So the codec for the video needs to process. So it takes a little bit for the server to make your video available for your students. And I think that might have been it. That was quicker than normal. So that's good. So from here, you can delete the local copy if you want. I wouldn't recommend doing that, just in case there's something wrong with the upload. There never is, but you never know. Data corrupts, on a whim. So you might as well keep the local copy just in case. There is an option to resume if you want to append to the end of it. You can share these, you can edit them, or you can view them right from here. So that's kind of the basics with the recorder. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if there's even anybody in there, John. I'll just keep chugging along unless somebody has a question. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about, there's a workflow that is available for this. Let me change my screen again. I'm going back to my Brightspace course. So I go in here, share, and then go to my Brightspace course. All right, so this is your folder in here. And if I refresh this, that video I just did should show up. So by default, if you don't change any of the workflow settings in this, let's see if it loads. By default, it will take any video that you upload and publish it. That's not in here yet, so it might be taking a little longer. Unless I have a workflow going, maybe I do. So This little button right here, the um, square with the arrow, will open up your folder in the Panopto webpage. So this is kind of, just your view to your folder within Brightspace. You get more options and it's a little more flexible if you open this course in the Panopto webpage. So that's what this little arrow does. So I always recommend people, if people want to work on settings in Panopto or copying files or moving them around, I recommend you do this. So clicking that, and that brings me in here. If I go to the settings for this folder, I think if I go under there. There we go. So under the settings, it will tell me the availability. So this is your workflow pretty much. So your sessions that get uploaded become available when approved by a publisher, immediately, never, or starting on. So you have a couple different options. By default, it's immediately. If you're somebody that would like to get some sessions recorded ahead of time and you don't want them available immediately to students, you can either do a schedule, like say you want to record something for a class next Wednesday. So I'm going to say next Wednesday, I want this to show up in my folder in Brightspace. And then you can set the time if you want. We'll just say noon. So this is for the whole folder. You can also do it on the individual, on each video. You can have a custom day and time, but these settings will get applied to every video you upload to this folder. So, and then you can also have it how long you want it available. You can leave it indefinitely, or if you want it only available for a week, you can do that as well. So that's kind of how the workflow setup works in this. Okay. So this is the Panopto portal, Panopto backend. Let me see if my video is available yet. It is. Huh. Well, I can go to videos I made before. Okay, so let's see. The next thing I'm going to go over is your session management. If you want to copy videos from either one folder to another, you can create subfolders within your Brightspace course as well. So if you want to start organizing your content by subject or by book or whatever, you can click add folder and then be like capture and review. So that will create that folder, and then you can move your videos out of your main folder and then into that one if you want. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you go into settings and go to folder, and I'm saying I'm going to click on this. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to click at it, not the folder name. All right, there we go. So I click on this, and then that folder I just created, chapter 10 review. So that's where I want this video to go. So I find that folder, I click save, and that should move it out of this main folder, which it just did, and moved it in here. There you go. So that's a simple way to move a video. There's also ways of moving multiple videos. So you can click here, and then this will pop up, this selection window, and then you can select all, or you can select none. But you gotta go down here, hover to see the button, click on that, and then you can click individual ones, or you can click the select all. I am going to also move these. So here is the move button. I'm going to click that. And I'm going to find the folder I want. So it's under my folder, and there it is. So I click move. I can do both at the same time. This says that's done. So there are no longer any videos under my folder. I click on this, there and there. So that's just a quick overview about how you can move single and multiple ones. You can also download these if you'd like. If you go into the settings, you can go into, let's see, outputs. Yes, it is. So you can download the video itself by going in here and clicking download podcast. That will save it as an MP4 video to your computer. If you want to, you can mess around with the picture-in-picture settings. So you can change how it looks. And you can also do an audio podcast if you just want audio. So that is how you can download your content out of Panopto. If there are things you want to keep indefinitely, I would, if it were me, I would probably download them on my own, just so I had them on, an external drive or a USB stick or something, or my personal Google Drive. Because we do have a retention policy. If content is not accessed within 3 years, I believe is what it is now, it is removed. If it's something that hasn't been accessed in 2 years, it gets put into an archive that is available, but it takes a couple days to get out of the archive. So if you have any questions about the retention policy, there is on the Panopto. Okay, let's see if this is working now. Hopefully it is. Hey, it is working. Okay. So file management. So under file management, there's how to restore an archive video. So you can go in here and it will show you how to get a video out of archive. So just keep in mind there is a retention policy. This isn't someplace you can keep your videos in indefinitely unless they are viewed every semester. If they're viewed often, then the system will not do anything with them. But if they sit dormant for more than 2 years, then they get archived. And then if they're not touched for 3 years, they get removed. So, okay. Next thing I'm going to show you is the editor. So when you hover over one of these videos, there's this edit button, the square with the little pencil. So I'm going to click on that. And original. Yes. Okay. So in here, it's very, there's not a ton of options in here, but it gets a few things done. You can see here in the timeline, this is your audio, and then under S1, this is the stream with your screen capture. So, and you can cut and paste if you want to take a portion of your video out or have it not available. You can click and drag, and it creates this black spot. That means that that part of the video is no longer available. It hasn't been deleted. It's just that that part of the video cannot be seen by viewers. So it's kind of like that whole pause thing that I talked about. If you pause it and you forgot to unpause it and there's stuff you wanted to get, it will be blacked out like this, and you can just kind of move these around to spots where you would like it available. So that's also useful if you start the video at the beginning of the class and there might be conversations that aren't pertinent, or at the end of class if you're talking to students and you forgot to hit the stop button and there's conversations that you would like not to be included in the recordings, you can go to the end and kind of drag the end out. So that's where that could be helpful. And let's see here. While I'm in the editor, I will talk to you about captions. So every video that you put into Panopto, whether it be created by Panopto or something else, like you can actually put in videos that you didn't create with Panopto. So if you recorded something on your phone and you wanted to upload it to Panopto, it will caption that too. So I'll go over how to upload your files. But for now, I'm going to talk about the captioning. It automatically captions. It does a fairly good job. I think it's about 95%, if I remember correctly. So in the editor, you can see your captions and you can edit them. So you can edit. You can change the time that the caption appears. You can also change what's said. So if there's something in here that's incorrect, you can change it. You can also put in punctuation. I'm not sure. It might do that now. I remember it not doing punctuation, but I think it might do that for you now. But yeah, you can edit, put in commas, periods. And then when you're happy, with all your captions and all the changes you've made, and you're done with your editing, you can click apply. And it'll say applying, changes applied, close the editor, yes. So that's how that works. After you make changes, it has to process the session again because you just essentially made a new video with your old video. So it's got to reprocess that and put it back on the server. So, okay. So that is it with the editor. And the last thing I was going to talk about is analytics. So let me go back to my folder. So at the top of the folder, there is the stats button. So you can look at, obviously this is just my practice folder, so you can't see anything. But it would show you the views in the folder, the number of viewers, and the number of minutes that were viewed. You can look at reports. They have views and downloads by day. They also have viewers, so you can actually see who's watching these. So, which is good because if you've got somebody that says they're watching this stuff and doing the work, you know, it's you can see who's actually doing it. And this actually has some data in it because this is looking at all of the folders under my name. So this will show you the minutes delivered. This will show you the views, unique viewers. So that's actually how many people viewed it. This is how many times it's been viewed and downloaded. That normally is just views. We don't get a lot of people doing downloads, so that's probably what that is. So yeah, you can go in to see the folder, or let's see. Go back. There we go. You can look at the analytics on the per video. So I'm talking somewhere. There we go. Okay. So you can click on these three buttons here and you can see the stats for the individual. You can see the viewer engagement. So this is nice. So it's kind of like a heat map that shows you what parts of the video people are keying in on. So there might be something you're talking about that people might be more, keying in on. So that might be good for your review. So this will show you where people go to in the video, like how many minutes are viewed, and then like where it drops off, viewer engagement. So useful. Okay, that is everything that I was going to go over. I don't know if anyone's there or if there's any questions. Let me see. We don't have anybody in chat.
No. Well, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, well, we'll have this posted probably today. Certainly soon.
Okay, that's fine.